right, what up, guys? Welcome. This is
the inaugural episode.
Yeah, it's a Yikes comedy podcast. I think we're gonna go by the name
Dilemma Dudes in the Morning.
Dilemma Dudes in the Morning because it is the morning. That's why we look probably a little trashy right now.
I think Devon looks the worst out of all.
I mean, what is it? It's like 10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m.
Yeah, we basically rolled out of bed. I mean, I was up at 8:30 or something.
You were up really early.
I started blasting YouTube videos on the TV to wake you guys up.
Yeah, I noticed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Considering the wall of the room I'm staying in is not completely solid.
Yeah, it wakes you up.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I thought it was like a nice wake-up call.
It wasn't.
Yeah, we woke up with YouTube videos, had some pancakes and eggs, and
Now we're here.
now we're here doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And this podcast we're going to talk about moral dilemmas. Is basically what we're going to do. So those are like situations where you're faced with like 2 or 3 options, and they usually don't have a really clear answer of what the right thing to do. It's kind of going to be like how
There
you
usually
feel.
isn't a right answer.
No, because it's like very much maybe there is a right answer where it's like in that situation who would actually do that.
It's more like, I feel like it's more like, what's the lesser of the two evils?
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
3
Well, the whole
evils or
point of the
however.
questions are not to. It's not like a math problem to get the right answer. It's to provoke thought, right?
Yeah.
It's to get those gears in the brain turning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to discuss on this podcast is all that kind of. moral
Probably a
dilemmas.
good idea to introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm Devon.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
good.
one of the co-founders of Yikes Comedy, and just a dude sitting in his pajamas, about to talk about some moral dilemmas.
Pajamas with a plaid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
like-
got a little chilly, so I put on a jacket.
He's the guy beside the fireplace.
Yeah.
Chilly.
I'm Keelan. I am not a co-founder, but I am a active member. An active member. I pay my member dues.
If you want to be a member, guys,
By the way, we're upping that by 20% this coming quarter.
the costs have just skyrocketed
Yeah.
recently. We've been doing absolutely
I'm on the
nothing.
Yikes Comedy Patreon. That's why I'm here. I won a contest.
Yeah, my name's Noah. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. We've been wanting to do a podcast for a while.
It's been in the kind of like we'll throw it out to each other and then kind of like it kind of fizzles.
Because it's
Well, like most of our ideas, like someone mentions it, and we're all like, yeah.
Write
And
it
then
down.
nothing.
Someone
And
writes
then
a
life.
1-sentence thing and then we're just like, cool, we'll think about it in a month.
life happens,
Yeah, really.
But with podcasts, they're trendy and they're fun to do. Like I'm having fun just sitting here right now.
Everyone and their grandma is doing a podcast
Yeah,
now, so
so-
it's
Literally.
like, why can't we?
I think the hardest thing about why we never got going with the podcast is like we just didn't know what to talk about. We didn't know what people would care to listen to us talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
And then
you
we
know-
realized we don't care if nobody cares. So then we
That's
just
one
started
thing.
talking.
But I feel like this kind of dilemma idea of these moral dilemmas, even if you don't care what we have to say, you're gonna be listening. And you're like, dang, I'm gonna try and think about what I have to, how I have to feel about that.
Well, like it was really between moral dilemmas and optical illusions, and we realized optical illusions didn't really work well in a podcast format.
I want to find about an optical illusion and try and describe it over
over a
You're
podcast,
just sitting
yeah.
there really trying to explain
Those
it.
were our 2 options, so we kind of went
Yeah,
for the moral dilemmas.
It was a good choice. I mean, the optical illusion idea I was really attached to be honest, but you guys just didn't think it would work.
I don't know.
Honestly, it was a really bad idea.
Yeah. We also wanted with this podcast, like as a comedy troupe, we do a lot of sketch comedy, a lot of scripted comedy, and I mean we pull improv here and there, but we also wanted to just kind of like let comedy flow naturally, I guess.
Yeah, it's my daily life. I just let my comedy flow naturally. That's
Yeah.
people
Okay.
tell me. They're like, man,
I just
dude,
let
you're
my
like-
comedy free. I
Yeah.
just expose my
Just
comedy.
hangs out. Sometimes it hits people in the face. Other times,
Yeah,
it just-
sometimes.
other people dodge it, but
Yeah, some people just stop and
Expose
stare.
my comedy.
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Every morning I wake up, touch my comedy. Just-
Sometimes it kind of sticks to my left leg.
gotta wait a little while before I get out of bed,
Sometimes when I'm walking, you just have to stop and fix your comedy.
In the summer, it's even worse.
Yeah, and sometimes I just don't care who's watching.
Oh, gross.
All right, let's do the first one here. We're getting off.
God.
Oof, the comedy just got exposed right there.
Ooh, really?
That's what we're gonna do today. Is take on other people's dilemmas and try and give our amazing advice. You know,
Yeah.
Our advice is gonna be so good.
yeah,
As
because
3 very early 20-year-olds
yeah,
giving our very
I mean,
very expertise advice.
we don't have enough dilemma in itself. So.
no. I took a psychology class in college, so I just feel like I'm a little.
So you're an expert.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit more educated than the rest of you guys here. So
And both of you guys grew up with sisters, which I think really helps with you guys dealing with dilemmas.
yeah, every
I thought you
day.
were saying it was psychotic people.
All right. So I mean, what we're gonna do is just bring up some social dilemmas, which are just basically things that question your morality. So they're questions that are like, dang, I don't know what I would do in that situation. And usually there's not like a solid answer. It's going to depend on the person. And that's kind of what's going to make this interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the classic example is the trolley question, right? The trolley situation.
Yeah. Which
That's
is, I
kind of
think,
like the I guess that's the name of like these moral dilemmas.
yeah. So that's probably one we're going to start with, is just talking through this trolley problem. So I have it in front of me. I'm going to read it. So there is a trolley coming down the tracks, and ahead there are 5 people tied to the tracks that are unable to move. The trolley will continue coming and will kill the 5 people. There is nothing you can do to rescue the 5 people except that there is a lever. If you pull the lever, the train will be directed to another track which has 1 person tied to it. You have 2 choices. A, do nothing and the 5 people will die. Or B, pull the lever and save the 5 people, but that 1 person will die.
I mean, obviously the funnest option is just to watch turmoil happen.
I feel like ultimately with this one is, do you choose to do nothing or do you choose to step in and like take someone's life in your hands?
Right.
Yeah, because it's not only about the people who are dying, it's also how much responsibility are you willing to put on yourself,
Yeah.
right?
There's 2 ways that I've seen this like put to people, which is one that you're on the trolley, like you're driving it and it goes haywire and there's a lever on the trolley that switches it. The other one is that you're off the trolley at a switch. So that even that changes like how you're thinking about it. Because if you're on the trolley, like you hit 5 people, the cops come. Why did you hit 5 people rather than like, hey, why didn't you pull the switch? There was this haywire, like, you know what I mean? But yeah,
I don't know. I feel like in that situation, the right thing to do is probably to save more people. But in that situation, I think that I would just like freeze. I wouldn't want to be like the one that chose to.
I mean, if a trolley was going haywire and you were on it, you'd want to jump off, would you not?
Yeah.
Whether there's people in the way or not.
Here's the thing: is I think it's less about like actually being in the situation and more of making like a calculated decision based on your morals, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I think it really depends on not who the people are, but like whether it's like is the one person alone a small child,
Yeah.
right? That changes everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, does it?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. That's why this thing is so like. That's why this trolley problem is like worldwide thought about it. It's like it's probably in psychology classes. It's like
Yeah.
right. I mean, you took a class.
Yeah. Well, you know, well,
That's all you talked
I
about.
wrote an
right?
essay on it actually. Yeah. Scholarly paper.
Yeah.
I think we have to make the decision now of what I would do or what I think would be the right thing to do. And I guess in my opinion, yeah, I think you would pull the lever and you'd save the 5 people.
Mhm.
But you've basically chosen to kill 1 person.
Yeah, but yeah,
You've taken that power in your hands. But technically you've saved 4 people. But also you've just like,
say 5 people.
You've saved 5 people, yeah.
Well, you know, one death cancels
Yeah.
out one of the saves.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, though, doing nothing, like I don't know. I feel like I've heard this scholarly thing before, but like doing nothing is the same as making the choice as to pull the lever, right?
Mhm.
You made a conscious choice to do nothing, which
Yeah.
is the exact same as
Yeah.
making the conscious choice to pull the lever.
Yeah.
So are you really any less or more involved by pulling the lever?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, you were kind of by, you know, however you want to put it, fate, whatever, you were put in that situation and you're involved no matter whether you like it or not.
I mean, I want to know how we got in this situation.
Were we just walking down the street and
Yeah, like what trolley is it? Is it a train? That's the thing. Is it never says it's a train? It's a trolley, which is like a streetcar, right? Like probably our closest. I mean,
yeah.
when you guys were in Europe, did you guys do any streetcars?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
It was like my closest thing I could get to is like the streetcar in Toronto.
But I mean, that thing would
But
still
that-
kill someone.
It could, but it
Whenever-
runs on a track, and there's also
Yeah.
someone there pulling. Like,
Yeah, but they're tied on the tracks in this scenario.
yeah,
Like they're gonna die
yeah.
because they're tied to the tracks. The
Yeah.
thing's just gonna like.
I'd say
Anyways.
the main thing that people always talk about this is who is that one person.
Mhm.
Because I think other ways that it's been written is there's 5 random people that you don't know, and then your grandma or something on the other track.
Well, I was just before this, I was like familiarizing myself with the trolley problem, and one of the alternatives was, you're on the trolley, you can pull the lever. There's 5 regular people, and then there's actor and comedian Jim Carrey on the other side.
I mean, depending on what year we're talking about this, he might have just been like, "Hit me, hit me!"
Right? So like, that changes everything.
He runs up and pulls the lever and gets back into position.
And that changes.
Well, all right. So I feel like we've decided you would pull the lever.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that.
Because again, my thought process is you're no more involved than you were before. And if we're talking 5 ambiguous, all ages, all genders, all everything people to one person who could be, anything,
Yeah.
it's better to save the 5 than
I think so.
1.
We're gonna get a lot of flack for this.
There's a second one that is kind of in the trolley problem that I find
this one
this one's kind of
hilarious,
funny.
but also like, why make up the second situation?
I think this one is much worse
Yeah,
because it involves just violence.
just
scared.
read it out. Just
There is a
read it.
trolley coming down the tracks and ahead. There are 5 people tied to the tracks that are unable to move. The trolley will continue coming and kill the 5 people. However, in this situation, you're standing on a bridge above the train tracks and you can see the train coming. There is a man standing next to you who is so enormous and heavy that if he places himself in front of the oncoming train, it will hit and kill him, but the train will stop you, or the train will stop. So you have 2 choices. Do nothing and the 5 people will die, or you push this big fat guy off the bridge so the train just hits him.
So like,
And if the train hits him, I'm assuming it stops.
Yeah, that he's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
fat
he's
that
so
it
fat
can
that
stop
it
a
will
train.
My initial question is, how is this different than the other one?
Because it involves you pushing a guy off a bridge. I just think
It's-
it's
but-
much more.
it's different because in the other one, no matter what you do, someone will die.
That's true.
In this one, no matter what you do, one of the situations will die. In this one, you're gonna hit 5 people, or you're gonna what if the dude doesn't die? What if he falls and then the train stops and he looks up and he's just like, "What the heck, man?"
Well, in this situation, the options he's good. He's
going
going
to
to be
die.
killed.
Because here's the thing:
Whether
is
from-
like really it's the same. It's the same outcome. It's the same dilemma,
It
just a
is.
different medium, right?
Yeah.
How is pushing him off any different than swapping the tracks over?
Because it just involves you're gonna touch this guy, you physically interact
I
with
feel
him.
like
You're chilling on a
It's more
bridge.
brutal.
You're
but
both like, oh, this is not good, and you're just like, sorry, buddy.
like here's the thing:
that's
it's
just more
definitely more
brutal.
brutal and definitely more it feels worse. But really, when you look at it, I don't think there's much of a difference.
I think I don't like this one because it involves almost malicious intent. You're like, "Hey man, how's it going? Just gonna save these people."
Actually, I do feel like what the difference is that you're taking a guy that's not in danger at all.
Yeah.
You guys are both in the same situation, whereas in the other one, there's 2 groups in danger.
Well,
Now
okay,
you're throwing a guy into the fire that was in the exact same situation. He could be sitting there looking at you like, oh, maybe I could throw him in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
And now
say.
you're just turning around and-
maybe you gotta throw him in before he throws you in, right?
How big are you? That's the question.
Are you both just two enormous people trying to fight over who gets thrown in front of this
But
trolley?
then if you think about that, what there should be in that a third option, which is throw yourself in front of the train.
I don't think that would work for some people.
No, definitely not.
I mean, if the 5 people aren't going to survive, this guy's got to be big, He's got to be
Yeah.
a big boy.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I think overall we're saying that we would choose the one person over.
I think it's the same answer for me. As
So-
I would probably feel so much worse, and let's be honest, probably get taken to jail.
Either way, you're getting taken to jail.
Yeah.
But you could have
Um,
just, in this scenario, I think it would have been okay to do nothing. Because now you've literally killed a person. Whereas before it was like,
But you
someone
did
was gonna
anyway.
die anyway.
But you did anyway. In the other one, you did anyway.
Right.
But I mean, the trolley going to hit people in the other one wasn't your fault. Whereas if you throw this guy off, that's 100% your fault. Like, sure, you've saved people, but you've murdered
I
someone.
think in the second situation, he's a bystander.
Mhm.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
just someone
100%.
sitting there and watching, right? So like, whether he does something to help or not, I think that maybe makes the
'Cause the-
morality different.
Because the only difference between this question and the other question is like the outcome's the same. The problem's technically the same. The only difference is our human like emotion and morality behind it.
Yeah.
Right? If it was a robot doing this and it was like, oh, save 1 or save 5, like literally, it's the exact
think
same
about-
problem for a robot.
Think about the iRobot, the movie with Will Smith,
Oh yeah.
right? In that one scene, the reason why he hates robots is because he's in a car crash. A little girl's in a car crash, the same car crash. He's a cop and he's telling the robot, save the other girl, but the robot saved him because he had a higher chance of surviving that situation.
Right.
So in that situation, yeah, it would look at
Because for a robot, this is
life
the
of
exact
5
same
people and
problem.
the life of one person and chuck the one person off.
Exactly. For a robot, this is the exact same problem. The only difference is our human emotions and morality behind it.
Yeah.
Because for a human being, there's a huge difference between, well, they're both victims here. I just got to pick 1 over 5
Mhm.
over, I got to push a bystander in the way of this freaking train.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, I feel like, again, I don't know what I would be able to do in this situation, but I feel like
I mean, I hope
I would weigh 5 over 1.
Yeah.
I think in morality, yeah, it's probably better to push him. But in this situation, I don't think I would do anything.
Yeah, I'd
If I'm
probably
honest.
freeze.
I wouldn't even think to throw another person now. My brain wouldn't go there.
unless someone was like whispering in your ear, being like,
unless
"Come
the
on."
dude was like, "Man, I could stop that train."
Yeah. Going famous last words.
Man, I could stop that train. Whoa!
All right, so let's just do another one.
Okay.
This one, I think we can picture ourselves in this situation.
Oh, go.
Why? Because we're prisoners.
Yeah, we're prisoners. So this is called the prisoner's dilemma. It says you're a member of a gang and you've been arrested with another member of your gang. Both of you are confined away from each other and you have no way of communicating with the other member. The police does not have enough evidence to convict both of you with major charges and instead offer you and the other member a bargain. You have 2 choices. A, you can remain silent. B, you can betray the other member or testify that he has committed the crime. And then there are 3 outcomes. So there's 3 outcomes. If you betray the other member and he remains silent, you will be set free and he will serve 3 years in prison. But this also works vice versa. If you remain silent and he betrays you, you will serve 3 years in prison. Option B, so the other outcome is if you betray the other member and he betrays you too, you both serve 2 years in prison. And C, if you and the other member both remain silent, you both only serve 1 year in prison. But of course, you guys can't talk to each other.
And so it's like one of those
Right.
game show things where it's like if one person steals and the other one doesn't, well, one person gets everything and the other person's screwed. If you both
Right.
steal, both of you get nothing. Neither of you steal, you split 50-50.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
I feel like in this scenario, like, I've watched a lot of these crime shows.
So
Get a lawyer.
You
Get a
never.
lawyer.
taking a psychology class. You're
Yeah.
just an expert on it.
I'm an expert. You never want to, man. Like, you don't want to mess with the gang. Like, if I'm in a gang, I'm not ratting out another guy because even if I get out of prison,
I mean,
I'm
look
getting
at-
shot.
What's his name? Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everyone thinks he's a rat now.
Yeah,
Also
like,
dead. Or I don't know if it was Tekashi.
and I think I
6ix9ine or
couldn't
someone.
even. I don't think I'd ever want to like betray a. If you're both in the same situation, like you both committed the same crime, I'm guessing together.
It depends on like.
Like,
Think
and
about
you
it. Like
both
if you're
know
in a
that.
gang, there's got to be a couple people that you don't like.
Yeah,
So what if this is one of the guys that you like? I really
Yeah.
don't like him. So like.
that's what I
sucks.
think it would depend on, right?
Yeah.
But I'd be too scared to rat another guy because then they would know.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, you rat someone out. Let's say you rat someone out and you do get like a modified sentence. You get a lower sentence. Like, if you're in a gang, especially if it's a big gang, say like it's like a mafia or cartel or whatever. There's people in prisons who they contact and is like, yo, kill that dude.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I don't think it's a good idea to ever.
Right?
If this was just like you and your buddy, like Like, let's say me and you did something stupid.
Yeah.
We both ended up in prison, or like we were getting questioned. We're like,
Here's
oh,
what did
man.
we do?
Whew.
What did Noah and Keelan do?
I feel like something that like was meant to be innocent. Like streaking or something.
like doing a podcast on moral dilemmas. And
Yeah.
the police came.
Yeah,
and
like they like, oh god, we need to keep an eye on these guys. And yeah, I was like, I don't know, it was meant to be innocent. And I know that if I ratted you out, you don't have like freaking some cartel gang member ready
Right.
to just murder me.
Yeah.
Then it would be different. But when you're saying you're in a gang,
Well, it's one of those things where
Man.
it's like I think it's like the trolley question where it's like the people are ambiguous, right?
Yeah.
So it's an ambiguous gang, an ambiguous person, and it's just you. And like, do you want to take the risk and trust this other person who is kind of neutral to you?
Yeah.
Will not rat you out, or do you want to screw this person over entirely and hope you get off scot-free?
and you're lying because it's saying you committed the crime together, and if you rat him out, you're saying that he committed the crime and you had no part in it.
Does it
basically.
say that you guys each get the same? Like they would each get the same. I guess like.
Yeah, so if they both ratted each other out, they'd each have to serve 2 years in prison. If only one person ratted each other out, the one person has to serve 3, and the other guy
Right.
gets
So
to
they
leave.
get the same consequences and also the same consequences of ratting the other out.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or if you both don't say anything, you only have to each serve a year. I think I wouldn't say anything.
I don't
I
think
don't-
I'd say anything.
I think I wouldn't say anything, hoping that he wouldn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that
Right.
would be the ideal, right? If
Yeah.
I didn't say anything and he said something, I would want to kill him.
Yeah, exactly. But then
I'd
you're
be
in
so mad.
but you're in a gang, so you could.
No, exactly.
You don't say anything. He says something. You go to jail,
Beep,
and you're
beep,
just
beep,
like,
Antonio.
"Hey, man."
Take care of the problem.
That's what they always say.
Yeah.
Somehow they get like a phone in prison. They always
Yeah.
just have access.
Well,
All the guards are
I'd
corrupt.
file down a toothbrush.
Yeah, your teeth are disgusting. Yeah, but I killed that dude.
All right. Well, I think that one was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's it. Like I like the fact that it has two
Well, really-
options, and then from those two options, it has 3 outcomes.
Yeah.
Well, I really think it really plays on your trust in humanity.
Mm.
Yeah,
like if you're, I
even-
could see if you're like a super cynical person, then you would take yourself 100% because you don't trust anyone else would.
Yeah.
Not.
I
do
feel like
the
if I
same.
was in a gang, though, I feel like I might have that like the don't trust anybody mindset, anyways. Being a white male from the
In a
suburb of Barrie.
Yeah, look at the three of us. Are like, we were in the
Yeah,
gang.
we were in the gang.
If I was in a gang,
None of us would be in a gang.
I would never be in a gang. It's not worth it. Even if you make like millions of dollars, you're gonna die like in a couple years. You do like one thing wrong, or they think you did
I was
something
like,
wrong. You're
even
dead.
if you're
I don't know, man. Like, if Breaking Bad taught me anything, it's a real good idea. It seemed to work out real great for most of them guys.
Yeah, your family's gonna love you when they find out.
Family, great family life, millions of dollars. The
surprise,
cops.
guys. It's me, Jesse.
I don't get it. I feel like I was talking to my barber about Breaking Bad. I have a theory about some places in Barrie that I think are laundering money ever since I watched Breaking Bad. I don't want to, say them in public because I don't want to. That'll get us sued. That will be in prison. I'll be like, whose idea was it?
That's how we get to prison
Yeah.
is because we.
And we were all talking about
Your
about
barber
Breaking
just comes
Bad.
and opens his knife and just goes, "Who's that?"
Yeah, would we end up in prison? Because if they're actually laundering money, we'd probably just die.
Yeah.
We'd probably just get
Yeah.
taken out.
Randomly, yeah.
And just like, oops, bus.
But we were talking about when you're watching Breaking Bad, you're sitting there like, I could probably figure out how to do this. Like, it could be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make meth? Like, is it possible? And then you start to think it through. You're like, never mind. This is a horrible idea. It's not worth it.
Like look.
But I think everyone has the moment watching stuff like that. They're like, I can see where people think it's a good idea.
I mean,
'Cause it's fast money.
I think that's
Mhm.
why they make films like that or like the shows like that is because
Mhm.
ideally, what he does is probable.
Yeah.
If you have those ingredients, you have the right.
And you're in
instruments stuff.
you're in a hard enough place
Yeah,
when you're
like-
desperate.
Well, I mean, even if you're not, like, it is possible to make meth with those ingredients,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
just the story is his hard
You-
his hard place.
You do know there was someone watching that show that went, "Pfft, That's not that hard. And went
they
out,
tried
tried to get the ingredients. Was like in his home kitchen, like
100%. I want to know when people have tried, like, watched Breaking Bad and felt inspired.
They keep scrolling back. Like, what was the measurement that he put in? Oh, okay, cool. It was a teaspoon. Cool.
But I mean, as the show goes on, you start to realize, oh, this is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
We're not condoning cooking meth.
no.
As a career. 'Cause
We're
you'll
just
see it's-
condoning making money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
However you have to.
Which guys were
You
sitting-
do you. We're not gonna judge you for your means, but we don't condone making meth. Just making money.
Which we're gonna make so much money sitting on a couch talking into mic.
Yeah.
About how you should.
I would
make
much
meth.
rather make money this way than the meth way.
Yeah.
Mm.
As much as I've thought about the meth way. Ugh.
I'm sorry, guys. I think I hear the police outside.
Well, let's do one more because that's what we have here.
Cool.
This one is kind of interesting. I feel like this might be the hardest one.
Okay.
So it says you're an eyewitness to a crime. A man has robbed a bank, but instead of keeping the money for himself, he donates it to a poor orphanage that can now afford to feed, clothe, and care for its children.
What the heck?
You know who committed the crime. If you go to the authorities with the information, there's a good chance the money will be returned to the bank, leaving a lot of kids in need. What do you do?
This is
This is definitely the hardest
This
one.
is literally. This question is literally. You witness Robin Hood steal from
Yeah.
the king and give to the poor. Do you rat him out to the king? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's called the Robin Hood dilemma. Yeah, is what it is.
My question's hell no. That's my answer. Hell no.
I don't think it's good to rob a bank, but I mean, if you're doing it for a good cause, like you said, if you're making
All the money's
money,
insured. No one's actually losing money except for the insurance company, who's,
Yeah.
let's be honest, ripping people off anyway.
yeah,
Well,
I
here's the
freaking
thing. Even like, I think I'm with you. Like that, I wouldn't say anything because let the police do their job.
oh yeah, you don't
Right?
need any part.
Yeah,
of
they're
it.
around for a reason.
They might find him anyways, and then they'll go to the orphanage and go, well, sorry, and then it looks bad on them.
yeah.
You're not known as that jerk who
Exactly.
took money away from an orphanage.
Exactly.
I feel like if I was a police officer, I would, if I found out it, like trace the money back to an orphanage, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna just pass this
know-
on to someone else.
I know this is not part of the question, but like, if money was donated to an orphanage and they found out it was stolen money, how would they get that money back? Like, can they just go and confiscate money that's been donated?
I guess.
I really don't know about that.
I mean,
Because
truth be
especially
told,
like,
Yeah,
it
they need
also
a legal
depends if
expert.
it's private money. Like, if someone broke into, let's say, your house and stole all the money from your safe,
yeah.
right? I'm assuming, and again, I'm not any sort of legal person at all. That's your private money, but money from a bank is insured.
Yeah.
It'll be covered. You know, if your bank gets robbed, you don't actually lose any money. It's all insured to a company.
I feel like when you put money into a nonprofit, because a lot of people use nonprofits to launder money in like really garbage ways.
Yeah.
Because that money, when it gets put in there, is kind of like people don't want to touch it. So it's like,
Well,
oh, you donated
obviously.
it. You look bad.
Yeah. I guess maybe this question also calls on like how moral the cops are at that point. So if they
Yeah.
do their job and they find the guy, they find, they a lot of banks have like you can trace the money somehow, right? If they find the money, it's at an orphanage. That's also the question is how moral are these cops? And also what exactly is the law on that, right? Like I feel like we should look that up. Like what is the law? Noah's going to look up what is the law on confiscating orphanage money.
See, now what this just randomly popped into my head. Have you guys watched the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
So the guy, the huge, it's based on a true story. Guy who's super freaking good at counterfeiting checks.
Yeah.
Right? Now this was like way back when they didn't have all these like
Like you didn't feed it into a bank machine.
exactly
and the checks
like
were
you actually could cash in checks almost anywhere, like at hotels, you know,
Right.
stores, all that
Yeah.
type of stuff, and they would hand you just straight cash.
Yeah.
My question is just to put a little twist on this question is, what if you knew, it could be a friend of yours, it could be anybody, you knew somebody who did that but donated the money?
It's the same. It's ideally the same thing.
But
Ideally
is
the
it
same question.
worse? Because technically that money is being stolen from companies now.
Right. It's not. Yeah. It's not. And it's not insured, and it's not.
It's not anything. It's
Yeah.
just lost money.
Do you find anything?
Man, well, it sounds like it's quite hard to get your money back after it's been donated to a charity.
Right.
But it says there is possible reasons for it. I just might take a while to find out what.
Yeah.
But I think either way, even if the police did, they probably would have a hard time getting the money back.
Yeah. I think maybe this makes me a scumbag, but I think I would just leave it in the police's hands.
Oh, 100%.
Well, because even if we just go off of the question itself,
Yeah.
they get the money back. They take the money back.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we go off just the question itself, they take the money
It does
back.
say that, yeah, they'll take the money.
And in complete honesty, I would rather have, there's one bad person get away with it
Yeah.
and have a significant amount of people in need get help,
Yeah.
which really does not make him a bad person. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'd rather there's one criminal get away with it
Yeah.
and a bunch of people in need get what they need,
Yeah.
than this one criminal get locked up and all this money go back to the big gurus who have millions and billions of dollars.
Right. Yeah.
So you guys, I think what we learned today is we should rob a bank, cook some meth,
Yep.
or we donate
push
that
fat
money to
guys
the
off of,
charity,
Donate it all to
and
charity.
then no one will come after us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? We won't rat at each other out.
And this is going to be our last podcast episode because we are now full-time criminals. Great.
Full-time criminals.
This was good work. I feel like we figured out our life's calling. We were here at this cottage. I don't think we explained that we're at a cottage.
No, we
One might
didn't
call
have
it a
any
cabin.
Problems. We didn't need to get away from anything at all, so we hid ourselves in a cabin.
We needed to hide ourselves from our own procrastination.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, well, let's explain why we're at the cottage now.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have done this at the beginning. Maybe the power of editing could put this at the beginning.
No.
Now
Leave
that
it
you
raw.
said that, we are not.
Now we're not. It's not
Yeah.
going to be at the beginning. We're at a cottage trying to create stuff. We're here for about 5 days, I think.
Yeah.
We're here with all this camera equipment and these fancy microphones. You know, what can I
Oh
say?
yeah.
And we're trying to just create a bunch of random content.
Yeah, pictures, videos, kind of whatever we want.
Yeah,
I guess
we're
we also-
content creators. Well, we definitely learned that we're gonna cook meth.
Cook math.
We're
we learned
gonna
that watching
we're gonna
a TV
rob a
show.
bank,
Cook meth, rob banks, donate, make money.
donate,
As
and
long-
if, and
as
if
long as
and
you
if we get in
donate.
jail, we're not gonna rat each other out.
No.
Because by the point we've cooked meth and robbed banks, we're totally a gang now. We're definitely a gang. We got we're hardcore.
Oh man.
At every crime scene, we just spray paint a giant Y.
Oh yeah, they'll know they're no
I thought you were gonna say a giant
yikes.
penis, and I was like, sure, yeah, why not?
That's what we learned. I feel like that. I feel like people are gonna take away some.
Yeah.
We didn't say this was gonna be good morals on this podcast. We just said we're gonna be talking about
We
morals.
just talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
Like,
I
let's
think-
be honest, guys. The morals of cooking meth. If we cook it and make money off of it, is their choice to take.
I mean, think about, but in Breaking Bad, he has the rules where he doesn't sell it. He just makes it.
Yeah. Well,
Jesse sells it.
yeah.
He also has a rule.
You're
about
early
not
on in the
taking-
show, right?
I'm literally like episode 3.
Oh God.
So yeah.
Just wait, you poor innocent soul. You poor innocent
we
soul.
said that, the first couple episodes, you're like, oh, maybe this is a good idea. And then as the show goes on, you're like, never mind. I'm not getting involved with that crap.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we shouldn't melt a dude in a bathtub.
No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's not even the worst part,
buddy.
I mean, it's gross.
That's pretty gross.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah, I feel like this is the Dilemma Dudes. That'll stick. And
Dilemma Dudes?
it's a Yikes comedy podcast, Dilemma
Yeah.
Dudes. And keep an eye out because we're going to be posting a bunch of random videos that we made when we're here at this cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just stuck here trying to be creative. It's a really hard place to be stuck,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, look at
This little cabin. Ugh.
It's the worst. Those stars last night, disgusting.
Disgusting. Made me vomit all over the snow.
Well, you can pop us, DM us on social media or whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
we should definitely,
Yikes comedy.
wherever you're watching this on, if you're watching it on like YouTube or Facebook,
Listening.
if you're just listening, you can find us at Yikes Comedy on Instagram and on Facebook.
And it's
we'll-
Yikes Comedy Troupe on Facebook.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. It'll come up.
Yeah, you'll find us. Unless you're listening from like Russia, I don't know.
Just look for a gang of
If you're
sexy
looking
dudes.
if you're listening from Russia, ignore all the gang stuff. Man.
And yeah, we'll probably put out a call for like if you have some dilemmas, even if they're real life ones, maybe we'll make like an anonymous feed where it's like you can hit us up
Yeah.
with your problems.
Yeah, hit us up with some problems because we're gonna try and find as much as we can online.
Mhm.
But if you can think up some moral dilemma, something that maybe will stump us or something, yeah, hit us up on
Yeah.
social media, DM the
Anyways, well, thank you for listening.
yeah.
Don't take our advice to heart too much.
I'm so glad this isn't an advice podcast. It's
No.
just us talking.
No,
Don't
Yeah.
take our advice too hard, but like if you want to,
if you want to, just make sure you let us know so we can talk
yeah.
about it.
Start a meth lab. There we go.
yeah, make all the money and donate.
Exactly.
All right. Peace out,
Two Yikes
guys.
Comedy.
Peace out, guys.
Share it with your friends.
Deuces.